One other theme, the second theme that I wanted to talk about in this juz is there's a lot of infaq. And that's an interesting discussion, especially in the circumstance that we're living in. Infaq means to spend in the path of Allah, right? So the most generous person to ever walk on the face of the earth was Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. No one can come near his generosity. What's interesting is, and I'm going to give an example of this before explaining what I want to say. Look, take for example, if you see a homeless person, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give everyone shelter. You see a homeless person who has a pillow, who lays down on the sidewalk. And then another homeless person comes and lays down next to him, who doesn't have a pillow. And then a car drives by, stops the traffic light, sees his two homeless people. One has a pillow, one doesn't have a pillow. And someone rolls down their window and gives a pillow to that homeless person. All of us, our hearts will melt. Oh, this is a really nice person. It's a really kind gesture. But just for 1 second, think about this scenario. That homeless person came, laid down without the pillow. And the homeless person who had one pillow took his pillow and he gave it to the one who just came. So he gave his own pillow to the one who didn't have a pillow, right? So in his suffering, he was still generous. That's a very difficult thing to do. That when a person is suffering themselves, to be generous and to be caring and to be giving, we usually give people a pass, right? Especially when we go fundraising or collecting money, we usually give people a pass. Oh, business is down. Specialists are saying, most of my 30-40% of my business is gone because I'm doing telemedicine. So we give people, we give ourselves a pass, and we give people, and it's normal, that's natural. But here's the Prophet ﷺ, who is the most generous person to ever walk on the face of the earth. In his entire life, he was in more need of what he was giving, right? It's not like he had so much wealth in his home. If he ate one day, he would not eat the next day. He was always living in poverty, but he was the most generous person. So that theme over here about الَّذِينَ يُنْفِقُونَ فِي السَّرَّاءِ وَالضَّرَّاءِ, like the ones who spend in good times and also the ones who spend when times are tough, right? So in this juz, Allah talks about spending, the rewards of spending. Now, don't get me wrong over here, right? There's many different ways of spending, right? Mufti Abdullah, like there's people when they think about spending, like, oh, this guy's gonna do a fundraiser again. But there's different ways of spending. Spending can be like how Imam Shafi rahimahullah in دَعِ الْأَيَّامِ تَفْعَلْ مَا تَشَاءُ وَطِبْ نَفْسًا إِذَا حَكَمَ الْقَضَاء. He talks about that if you want, وَإِنْ كَثْرَتْ عُيُوبُكَ فِي الْبَرَايَا وَسَرَّكَ أَنْ يَكُونَ لَهَا غِطَاء تَسَتَّرْ بِالسَّخَاءِ فَكُلُّ عَيْبٍ يُغَطِّيهِ كَمَا قِيلَ السَّخَاء. He says, if you have a lot of bad habits and bad qualities, all of us have bad habits and bad characteristics. We all do, man. Like this, even all of us have it. We all have, it doesn't matter if it's Michael Jordan. When he came to the league, his weakness was his jump shot. Everyone has strengths and weaknesses. And you try to maintain your strengths, and you try to make your weakness into your strength. So Imam Shafi'i is saying that if you could work on one characteristic which will cover up all the other negative faults of yours and will make you beloved in the eyes of people and the eyes of Allah, then work on the characteristic of generosity.